Ladies and gentlemen, introducing our 2016 California Wrestling Hall of Fame inductee, Mr. Don Williams. His presenters are his boys, Tyler and Chris Williams. As a student athlete at California State University Chico from 1978 through 1982, Don Williams was a four-year starter in wrestling. In 1981 and in 1982, he was a two-time conference champion and a two-time NCAA Division II All-American. In the 1981-82 winter season, he trained in two sports simultaneously and achieved a rare double by earning All-American honors in two sports, wrestling and diving, in the same season. Each award occurred within the same two-week period. In 1999, he was inducted into the Chico State University Athletic Hall of Fame. On a coaching note, Don has 28 years of wrestling plus swimming and diving coaching experience at Anderson High School. While at Anderson in wrestling, he coached 32 CIF North Coast Section Masters champions, 15 state medalists, including 6 state finalists, with 2 becoming state champions. Williams' teams won 6 CIF North Section Masters titles and 20 Northern Athletic League team championships. His teams finished in the top 5 of the CIF North Section Masters for 18 years. In 2002, he was named California State Wrestling Coach of the Year by the California Wrestling Coaches Association. In 2012, Williams joined Simpson University Redhawks as their head wrestling coach for their newly launched wrestling program. In their first year, the Redhawks under Coach Williams placed 11th out of 35 teams that qualified for the NAIA National Championship Tournament and had 3 medalists that earned NAIA All-American honors. In 2014, Simpson placed 5th in the NAIA Western Region and 13th at the national tournament, and again had 3 medalists that earned All-American honors. Ladies and gentlemen, inducted in the 2016 California Wrestling Hall of Fame, Mr. Don Williams.
Got that clock on me? All right, I was trying to figure out what can I say that it might seem kind of strange to look in there and see All-American in 2 sports. So that's a story I'm going to tell you because it is a strange one. It's not one that I expected. I was a multi-sport athlete in high school, and when I went to college, it was difficult to decide what I wanted to do, to wrestle or die. But in the long run, it was no difficulty. Wrestling is the toughest sport in the world, and I knew that, and it was the biggest challenge, and I decided to go to Chico State and wrestle for Arm and Brett. But after my sophomore year and a disappointing finish of the season, I was just struggling, the mental part of this sport, and my head got in the way a lot. But that's when I realized that I was getting in the way myself because I was wrestling for the wrong reason. And my junior year in college, I realized the reason that I needed to wrestle was for God. As a Christian, I wrestled for myself and not for Him. So I gave it to Him my junior year. And He kind of surprises you sometimes. And that's why at the end of the year, we went to nationals. There were 5 of us from Chico State, and Coach Armin Brett, and giving us one of his famous encouraging speeches, told us that none of us probably had a chance to place here at nationals, but just to give it our best. Well, he walked away, and we all looked at each other and said, I don't know about you, but we came here to place, and 3 of us did, and I made All-American, and that was pretty exciting. I went back ready to rest and went out on the bleachers of the pool, and the diving coach came up and said, hey, we're having a meet this Saturday. Get on the diving board and qualify. And I haven't competed since I was in high school in diving. He said, that's okay, we'll get you there. And they did. Of course, they had to cheat and bump up the scores. But 6 days of practice paid off, and I had to call Coach Brett, who was back at our wrestling banquet, and let him know that I made the final cut and made All-American just a couple of weeks after I did in wrestling. And he was screaming on the other end of the phone and pretty excited. But, God has a way of humbling you. And going into my senior year after that great finish, the first match of the year against Eddie Baza from San Jose State, he majored me, and I was 0-1 my senior year. But it put me back in my place, and 2 weeks later I got to get revenge on Baza, and I beat him in the San Jose tournament. And that was probably one of my most memorable matches, to beat a 2-time Division I All-American. But anyway, I just want to thank all of you, thank the people who have inducted me into the Hall of Fame, thank my family and my 2 sons here who are to present this. So thank you very much.